We've got you. If you have a question for Grayson Allen, please use the hand raise feature. We'll start first with Parker Fleming.
Hey, Grayson, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, Parker?
I'm doing pretty good. So obviously in playoff series, there's always a lot of adjustments that are going to be made from game one to game two. What are some of the primary adjustments that maybe you're expecting from Utah going into game two?
They're probably going to look to get back and guard us in transition. And I'm assuming they're thinking that they got some good looks from three and that they just missed them. So I think they're going to keep hunting that three, especially corner threes. Like, they're a team that shoots the three ball really well. So they're going to continue to try to look to get there on offense.
Megan Triplett.
Grayson, for you, for game one, Josh said, how crazy and loud it is there. I mean, you have firsthand experience about that since that is your former team. What was it like for you kind of being on the other side of things, especially being on the away team?
It was honestly really fun. It's really fun to play in that kind of environment with it being loud the whole game and, erupting in boos when we go on a run or we make a big play, or cheering when they hit a shot or go on a run. It's a really fun environment to play with, and it gives you a lot of energy. And actually, I think it kind of helped us being kind of in a first playoff game. Like, we have a lot of guys that love playing and these kind of games with a big crowd and feed from that and get energy from that. So I think that kind of we like that, and we play into that.
Mark Giannotto.
Hey, Grayson. I think you're the only guy in this series who has played for both Quinn Snyder and Taylor Jenkins at some point. I know your experience with Quinn Snyder is limited, but can you tell that they work together? Like, do you see similarities in their philosophy, coaching styles? Have you noticed anything that you can kind of point to?
A little bit, yeah. I think what makes that hard to compare is that, we have very different personnel. So you kind of have to coach to the strength of the players you got. So defensively and offensively, we kind of have different philosophies as teams just because of their strengths versus our strengths.
What about like demeanor and like you just like attitude, the way they carry themselves, or is there not?
Well, I don't know if they both just had this from the start, but being with Quinn, the way he like dissects film is like another level, and I think that's the same thing that Coach Jenkins has, like the way he watches film, the way he dissects films, the way he'll come back from a game and have little details for us to focus in on. They're both extremely detail oriented. And so I think you see that the most in film sessions the next day where, something you might not even be thinking about, or a little adjustment here or there. Like, they're both like, no detail gets left. Like, they're all in on every little detail of the game, whatever can give us a little edge, a half a point here and there.
Evan Barnes.
Hey, Grayson. Donovan Mitchell's obviously probably going to play in game two. So what can you guys maybe take away from facing him in those first two games in the regular season to now knowing kind of what he's going to expect, whether or not he's, that ankle's fully right?
Yeah, I expect him to play and be ready. I don't think any of us are betting on his ankle being a little sore. I think even if it is, he's not going to play like it is. So you have to be ready for him at full strength. And he's a guy you have to focus in on the defensive end. You can't let him get comfortable because he can obviously score at an extremely high level. So for us, it's another guy we have to lock in on and try to make things as hard as we can for him on the offensive end.
Jay Drew.
Yeah, Grayson, you've already been asked a little bit about returning to where your career started, but do you have a favorite memory or kind of something that stands out about your time in Salt Lake City that maybe came rushing back when you took the floor the other night?
Not really. No, it's been I'm 2 seasons removed now, and felt like a quick stop here. Like my rookie year feels like it flew by just because everything was new. So now that I'm back the second season, like 2 seasons removed now, it's none of that. I've been in Memphis longer than I was in Utah, so don't really think about that much.
Mike Sadie.
Yeah, Grayson, a couple of quick questions. You mentioned the crowd there and how you guys feed off that. Is there a sense of excitement? John mentioned it after the game of hoping to, when you guys get back to Memphis with that crowd being the same way. You love playing on the road, but you'll get that back. And also there, you talk about rest versus rust. A lot of guys talk about that when you're hitting the playoffs. How cool is it? How much do you think it paid dividends for you guys that you've been in such meaningful games that you didn't have like the week off that the Jazz did, and it really helped you guys in game one?
Yeah, well, I think, when we make it back home, like we know our crowd, our fans are going to show up and bring energy to the arena and have it loud for us. For us, I think that, when talking about a team like Utah, I think rest probably helps them because they have more playoff experience, post-game or postseason experience, where for us, like playing in those 2 playing games, I think was good postseason experience for us. They were very intense games. Crowd was rocking, especially when we were in Golden State, and very intense games, physical games you had to really lock in on. So I think that helped kind of set the tone for what we needed to do coming out in game 1.
We have time for one more. Terry Davis.
How you doing, Grayson?
Doing good.
Hey, a couple quick questions. Your one game at a time attitude you guys had all season, whether you get win by 20 or lose by 20, how that can help you through the playoff? And 2, you sounded more like a coach. After you finish playing, are you going to be a coach?
In the playoffs, you have to take it one game at a time because, now that we've won one, it can, a team can just as easily win the next one. And it's even back up, right? So for us, we have to raise our focus up a level, and each game is going to be different. Like now they've played 48 minutes against us. They know what to expect. They know every single play. They know our tendencies. Like everything's going to be raised up another level. So you have to find new stuff each game. You have to lock in even more each game to raise your intensity level and raise like the level of your execution on both ends of the floor. And as far as being a coach, I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe like I've thought about it a little bit, maybe on like a individual skill development side, but I don't know about coaching a team.
Thanks, Grayson.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.